everybody. Happy Monday. This is Krista here with my husband,
Brian. Hi.
Brian.
Good morning, guys.
I should tag you in this so it goes viral on your page too.
Yeah, I got a lot of followers.
We are really excited to be doing something different this Monday morning and kind of sharing a little bit about us and our story in saying yes. So I'm a firm believer in saying yes to lots of things. I actually used to be a naysayer, and I got really, really good at saying no to many things thrown my way. I was very worried about, conserving my time and my energy, and I said no to a lot. And it has only been in the last, 5 to 10 years that I've really understood the power of saying yes and what that does for yourself, for your family, and for your life. So Brian and I have been married how many years?
17.
Oh,
It's a long time.
it is a long time. We were like 10 when we got married, so
Yeah,
it's
pretty
kind of
close.
weird. But so we've been married 17 years, and we've created this life that we really love together. And Brian is, those of you that know him know he's extremely intelligent and good at what he does. And I have been lucky enough to have his brain power in my business quite a bit. And we've started doing some trainings for our team. And after doing that and enjoying what we were doing, I was enjoying it. Were you?
Me too. Yeah, absolutely.
Good. We decided to do something a little different and kind of come live and share bigger and more broadly what it is that I do, what we were nervous about before I started, what we have found since. So I'm going to start off by taking it back about 8 years ago. Can you remember back that far? It was one kid ago. So at the time we had 2 daughters. We had our daughter Ava was 3-ish, and our daughter Emmy was 1. We had moved to Maryland 10 years earlier, or not 10 years earlier, 2 years before that, 10 years from now. And we I was kind of in a holding pattern. So you were working.
I was working. Yeah, I was. I've been in medical sales since I left the military in '05. So I've been in this industry. We moved here in '07. I was working in medical sales, covering this part of the country, and then I've been in there for 13, 14 years now in that industry, same industry. So
yeah,
that's where I was working when we moved here.
So Brian was in a job he was happy with,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I was trying out the stay-at-home mom gig. I had been a counselor. I was in education, and we moved to Maryland, and I decided not to take a full-time job. And fortunately, we didn't need me to take a full-time job. We were, doing okay financially without that. But I wasn't really happy. I wasn't fulfilled. And I love my kids, and any stay-at-home mom or mom that spent an extended period of time home with their children, you can relate. You sort of lose yourself. At least that's the way I felt. I was losing myself. I was losing my identity. I find value in myself and my work, and I wanted something. I needed something to really bring some balance into my life. I mean, you kind of remember those
I agree,
days.
absolutely. Yeah, and as a husband, you can feel that. I mean, that that's the case, and while it was something that we had discussed, that Krista did not want to go back full time with the kids, and she wasn't seeking out that sort of lifestyle because it wasn't the right fit for us. I could still tell that there was a little bit of a gap there. There was something that was missing, and she wasn't totally, fulfilled in how she wanted to be, kind of living her life and what she wanted to do. I mean,
yeah. I didn't want to do a 9 to 5, and I know that sounds kind of like spoiled. I don't want to, but I just really had this dream. We both have had this dream that you can have a very healthy, robust career, but it doesn't need to look like what society has always told us it needs to look like. You don't need to go to a job at 8 a.m. and come home at 5 with your hour lunch break. And if it works for you, more power to you. That's awesome. I had 2 parents that did that amazingly well and are living an incredible retirement. So I think it's awesome. For me and for our family, it wasn't the dream that we had for ourselves. But then therein lies the problem, right? So, I was kind of like, well, what am I going to do? So just started doing a lot of searching, and I stumbled upon the company that I'm with, Stella and Dot, And immediately, do you remember? I was
Well, we
not
started
into
talking
it.
about it quite a bit, and
Yeah.
she kept saying, "I'm not into it." But it's kind of like whenever you have a conversation and it comes up, and you have to go out of your way to tell somebody you're not interested, you're sort of kind of interested.
Oh.
That's you know, I mean, I remember how that was.
Oh.
You're telling me you're not interested in me, but we saw how that worked out, right, guys? Um, but no, she kept talking about it, but kept reiterating that she wasn't interested. So I obviously knew that there was some level of interest, and I wasn't exactly sure what it was. But
Yeah, and the reason I wasn't interested was because I didn't think I could do sales. Brian was in sales, and I was like, "You're the salesperson. I am not the salesperson. I'm like the counselor and the educator. I do not do sales. I do not want to be pushy. I do not want people to think of me as the crazy jewelry lady that they run in the other direction from when they see me." And I think the underlying issue behind all of that, and I think taking this a little bigger, if you think about it in anything that you're thinking about doing but you're not doing, is because you're fearful. Sure. It boils down to fear. You're scared, and for me it was scared. I was scared I was going to fail. I did not want to do something that I wasn't going to be good at and that I was going to fail at. So we sat on this for we sat on this for a very long time.
Sure.
And what were some of your thoughts on direct selling and social selling?
So I have to say immediately, and maybe it doesn't make sense, but immediately when Chris first told me about this, I was totally supportive. I was the one who told her right from the beginning, you should just totally do this on day one. But that's not to say that I really believed that this was going to be a great opportunity for our family, because to be honest, I sort of kind of didn't. I thought, just do it, just try it, because I want you to find this out about yourself. I don't want you to be second guessing yourself. I don't want you to be sitting here 6 months from now, 12 months from now thinking, well, what if, or maybe, or I should have, or I could have. I just want you to try it and put yourself out there and see what you can do to impress yourself, right? But that being said, I certainly didn't feel like this was an industry where people made real career type of progress and real career income. I didn't really know enough about it, to be honest, and I didn't think of it as sort of a long-term path.
It was more of a Band-Aid.
Yeah, I thought it would be something that she was looking for a secondary outlet to be doing things outside of just taking care of our kids and doing everything that she was doing in our house. I thought this would be a great opportunity. It seemed a little flexible. It seemed very, very low risk, and I was all in on those, all those points. But I wasn't sure that it was something, honestly, that was going to be, really materialize into a career like it has.
Right. Yeah. So it was 9 months that I thought about it, sort of let it, gestate like a baby would. And I thought and thought and thought and thought and thought. And I think Brian was finally just so sick of me talking about it. Like, I don't know if I should I, shouldn't I? And he was like, Will, for the love, will you just do it, right?
Yeah.
Because it came down to the financial decision, like the investment.
It was just such a low hurdle. I think if you've ever wanted to do something on your own, you've ever wanted to try something on your own, you've ever had that sort of, maybe I might, maybe I could, or you've ever just thought in your head you wanted to do something, one of the things that we all are held back by is the barrier to entry, right? If you're entrepreneurial or you want to do something like that, then, there's always some sort of pretty sizable investment up front. Whereas with this, there just wasn't. It just wasn't there. I mean, not to say it wasn't anything, but it was certainly not something that you would
not
expect
thousands and thousands of dollars. Yeah.
Right.
$199.
$200 was
to start your business.
Right. By that time, having talked about it for 9 months, I would have, there was a lot of things I would have done to make sure that we paid that $200, because I just think it was totally worth it. But,
and I think at the end of the day, what you always reminded me is you're always going to wonder. Right.
That was always my thing, because do you believe in yourself? Sure. Are you a little nervous? 100%. Everybody's always a little bit, fearful of failing or fearful of putting yourself out there because, maybe it won't work out. But I can promise you, the one thing that I tell my kids, and we talk about all the time, is, I'd rather live with failure than live with regret, right? I'd rather have tried and came up a little bit short and said, you know what, I wasn't good enough, or it wasn't for me, or I just couldn't make this work out, but I gave it everything I had and I put myself out there, and now I know, I've grown as a person, whatever it might be, but I don't want to live with the idea of 12 months from now I'm still wondering if I would have been good at that thing I could have tried today.
Yeah. And I think, I'm going to speak to ladies now, because I think that men, that's intuitive for men. I really do. I think men are more risk takers. Men are, women, thousands of years ago, like we stay home and raise the babies. Men go after those sort of things. It's just intuitive to them. And I think for women, we have gotten in this really bad pattern of second guessing ourselves and not feeling like we are worthy to do it. And, obviously it wasn't Brian putting that on me. It was me putting that on me. And, I need to be with my kids. Or, a lot of women that I help start their business have another full-time job and they have children. Most women are in that boat. And, it's the thought of like, well, I just don't even have a lot of time the way it is. And why would I take more time away from my family or my kids? I need to be there. And I think you need to put a hard stop on that when it's something that's really speaking to you. You need to learn to say yes to things because the ripple effect is so great. So for us, obviously I said yes, finally. And, it'd be really fun to be like, and I was an overnight success story and we were millionaires in a month.
The end.
Yeah, no. Not the way anything goes. No success story, looks like that. And there's lots of failures and ups and downs along the way. But I think I've grown so much as a person because of those. And we are where we are now because of Brian encouraging me to say yes. And we've created this life where Brian has this, very high-powered sales job, but he has been able to accept a position that allows him to be flexible. You can't have it all the time, so he's not always home. He travels, but when he is home, he's all in with us. And for me, I have this now incredible career that I can put my kids on the bus every single morning and I get them off every afternoon. And when there's an assembly at school, I know I can be there because I'm my own boss. I make it my own priority to be there. So it's given us that. I mean, you can't talk about it without talking about the money. So is it real money? Yes. We learned it is real money. Right. I've been able to, triple the salary that I had when I was working with a master's in education. And, my income continually grows. So it is real money. It's a real second stream of income to our family that's given us opportunities to do a lot of really amazing things.
Right. And, like Chris said in the beginning, her motivation for first starting was not the money, right? But,
right.
I will say, like, I don't know a whole lot of people who don't need money, right? Maybe they don't need an immediate second string of income in terms of immediately to pay bills they've got currently, right? And that's more where we were. I mean, it certainly wasn't that we didn't need the income, and now that it's here, we've certainly found things to do with it, But yeah, I know very, very few people who don't officially need, you know what I mean?
Right.
If that makes sense.
Money equals freedom.
Right.
And you can find lots of things to create freedom for yourselves or create freedom for people you know and love. Yeah. So it does equal freedom. And for us, it's not about the stuff. It's about the experiences and the life we want to build for our kids. Right. And I think it's really impacted our family and our children as well.
Yeah, that's been the huge thing that I've really noticed, throughout this entire journey. I mean, of course, you can point to a million things that have been really cool and fantastic about this whole thing. But, we do have 3 kids, 2 girls, who are almost 12.
3 days.
2 days.
Yeah, 2 days early. I know it's Wednesday.
2 days, she'll be 12. So 12 and 9, right? So, they grow up in a house seeing, what their mom is capable of in so many different areas. I think that's just a really cool thing for, when we first had kids, one of my things that I always said was I want to have confident kids, right? I want to have kids who feel like they value and they matter and their voice is important and they should be heard.
But not so important that when we're telling them they need to stop
they
can talk back to us.
That's where I'm struggling.
That's another video.
We'll talk
for
about
another
that some
day.
other day because that might be too long. But no, we have kids who grow up seeing what their mom is capable of and what she does and how she works her business into her life and how she commits to being at the school band concert, but then comes home and has a call and does some other things, and it's really cool to see kids growing up with that sort of sense that I can do that, or that's totally doable. I've seen my mom do that every day of my life as a kid, and I'm totally confident that if I have to or if I wanted to, I believe in myself and I'm totally willing to put myself out there, and that's the coolest thing for me to see, is to understand, and maybe you don't see it as much because they maybe don't say it to you as often, but they say it quite often to me, and I think that's just a really cool thing.
Yeah, and with sons too, to be able to have a dad that supports a mom's dreams, even if it means it takes her away sometimes a little bit more from the house, to have a dad be able to step up and be a dad, not babysit the kids, but be the parent and support the mom. Like, I think it's really, really important for our families, for our society. I mean, that also I could go on a big tangent on it. I won't. But yeah, it's been really, really cool. And, what would you say? I think there are a lot of people that think about the business opportunity I have to offer, or business opportunities similar, or just, let's stay in that kind of space.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to someone, a woman who maybe has a partner that is skeptical and kind of thinks it's bogus? What would you say?
Yeah, I was that person. I was skeptical, right? I mean, I was supportive in the sense that, I want my wife to be happy and I believe in her ability to be successful at anything, but I certainly didn't think that this was something that people made real money in this industry. And I don't mean that in a, like
there's a bad
there's a stigma
rap.
to
Yeah,
certain
absolutely.
things, and you're thinking like, well, I'm going to have a garage full of inventory that I have to buy and pay out of pocket for, and whatever I'm earning from my business, I'm reinvesting in, trunk stock or marketing materials or something else. Right. Yeah. I'm having to carry all this stuff, and it's just, you maybe make a couple bucks here and there, but you're, maybe if you want to pay for vacation or something, pay for a week at the beach in the summertime, but that's about what the limit is, right? You can't really go much past that, and that's exactly what my thought process was, right? Like, I believed in Chris. I thought she'd be great. I've always thought she's amazing. She'd be fantastic at this. And the bar was so low to entry, it was a total no-brainer. But I was skeptical for 1,000%. I just did not believe that this was like a long-term career option. That's the best way to put it, I guess.
So it's kind of flipping the conversation. Instead of saying, why would you do it? I think you would say, why not?
Why wouldn't you? Yeah.
And if you have a really good reason of like, this is why not, because we're caring for a sick parent, or because, I'm going to be out of the country for within the next 30 or 60 days, then yeah, probably not right now. But if you're somebody that's sitting there thinking like me, like I was, letting this like business gestate for 9 months, and I don't know, shouldn't I, and driving everyone around you crazy with all your conversations about it, why not? Unless you have a really good answer to that, I would say try it on for size, because you're always going to wonder.
You're always going to wonder.
And that's not a good feeling.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, that's just not my thing. I don't like to wonder and think about what could have been, or, wonder 6 months from now, still having the same conversation that we had today. I mean, it's just not who I am as a person. I just don't really love that kind of stuff. But, I think, again, if you're considering it and you're talking about it, you're thinking, I'm a firm believer in the 80-20 rule, right? So 20% of people are going to jump right on board, 80% are going to kick it around. Maybe those 20% who jump right on board have an immediate need for a second stream of income, or whatever it might be. They all have different reasons, right? But the 80% who are just going to think about it for indefinite amount of time, I'll say for us, it literally was a very low bar to entry for what has amounted to running your own business, right? There's just nothing else that you could possibly do for yourself in terms of running your own piece of a business, or running your own business completely. There's just nothing else you can come close to with that low of an upfront investment. It's just not possible. And I kept saying to Chris, one of my selling points to her was, not only are you going to regret not doing this, but what is the worst case scenario, right? What's the absolute worst thing that's going to happen here? You buy in for $199, right? You buy in for $199, you get a bunch of things that you already love, right? You're going to make that back in 30 days, and worst case scenario, at the end of 30 days, you think, I just don't want to do this. This isn't for me. This isn't what I want, or I don't imagine myself doing this long, whatever it might be. Worst case scenario, you've made your money back. You've got essentially what amounts to a bunch of free stuff, and then you can go to bed at night and not wonder, would I, should I, could I, and you're not having that conversation 6 months from now.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one last perk that we didn't get to touch on were the trips. We're going to Hawaii. So, I think like most people we know that are parents with, kids at home and juggling lots of things, like we don't make the time, we don't maybe have the funds to take a trip, just mom and dad, right?
We wouldn't spend money on that for just us.
Right, we wouldn't do it, or not, at least not one a year. And what Stella and Dot has given us, just, of course, it's given us this great second stream of income. It's given us the flexibility and freedom in our lifestyle, but it's also given us some really awesome free trips. And, that's a big perk. And what happens is these trips are dangled in front of me. So I am motivated to really work my business because I want to earn them for us. And, we've been to Jamaica and Punta Cana and Mexico twice and Dominican Republic. Well, I guess, is that Punta Cana? Where else have we been? Bahamas. Yes, even if. I love that, Allison. Yeah, instead of what if, even if.
Yeah.
But we're going to Hawaii in the spring now. So we've had a really good time, and that's good for your marriage. Because I don't know if you're like me, but like when I'm in the weeds with homework and running kids to, soccer and dance and trying to throw dinner together really quickly, like there's not a lot of time to connect. And there's also, when there is the time, we're both too tired. I don't want to talk right now. I just need to zone out because it's been this long day of, work and life. So to have this opportunity to earn these free trips and do these things together has, to me, been invaluable. I mean, it's really been
it's been
incredible.
Great. And like we said, it wouldn't be something that we would say we're going to spend X amount of dollars on just ourselves and not take our kids to do something as an entire family of 5, because that's just what we would typically do.
Mm-hmm.
And especially for someone like me who's traveling pretty much every week for work, the times that we are here together are they're hectic, right? Like I'm gone for a few days, I come back, you've been doing everything, I come back, I want to try to help out, and we're zigzagging and dropping a kid off here and another kid there. We just basically have 2 cars driving around our town. So these trips have been really great opportunity for us to take 5-6 days and just be like relax and calm down, and the kids are supportive because they think it's super cool that you go to work, you work hard, you produce results, and you win a trip. Like they just think that's how life works, so.
And then we'll reward our kids for being supportive of that along the way too. So maybe they don't get to go.
No.
Yes, we do. Maybe they don't get to go to Hawaii, but they get to go to Hershey Park. Like when mom gets this, like this is what we're gonna do as a family to celebrate too. And the extra money that's coming in because they're working a little bit harder allows us to give my income helps support the family and the boring stuff, but also is enough of a cushion that it can help us do some extra fun stuff. So that's really it. I just wanted to come with another perspective. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of storytelling, and everybody who's known what we've been talking about, I think storytelling is important. It's powerful. It's a personal connection that you just can't replicate. And I think a lot of people assume, at least I do, you see somebody on here, someone who's been successful with their business, you think automatically they saw this opportunity on Monday, on Tuesday they signed up, on Wednesday they made their first 6-figure salary, and that's not our story, but it's a great story, and I wouldn't change it for anything. And I think it helped us learn a lot about who we are and what we're what we enjoy, what you're great at, and give you an idea that hey, if you're gonna kick this around a little bit and take a chance on yourself, I mean, this is really an opportunity for you to invest in yourself, give something a try. There's going to be nothing else that has that low barrier of entry, like I said.
Yeah. So instead of why, I would say why not. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. And any questions, please feel free to reach out. Have a great day.